Do that. All right, guys. So hopefully some of you are going to be able to jump in live. I'm so glad Catherine's here. I know several of you clicked going on the event, so hopefully you guys get to join in. And I am so excited to share this short little class tonight as an introduction to the business side of Young Living and how to really build a business while you stay home with kids. And so let me tell you a little bit about my background and who I am. So back when, a long time ago, I graduated from college, I got a degree in English and certified to teach high school. And I had wanted to be a teacher since I was 5 years old. I knew that that's what I was going to do. And I expected to teach my entire adult life and to retire as an English teacher. And I started teaching back in 2000. I absolutely loved it. And I taught full time for 7 years. And then I had my first baby. And the plan was to go back to work at least part-time until that little bitty baby girl got here. And I decided I did not want to go back full-time or part-time. And I didn't want to miss a thing, right? And I didn't want to have any regrets when it came to raising her and being her mom. And so even though that wasn't our plan financially, I became a primarily stay-at-home mom way back 15 years ago. Now, during that time, I did a few things. My husband was adamant in that I do something beyond just staying home because he knew I would need something else to keep my brain busy, to keep me, using my gifts and passions. And so a few years later, I was introduced to Young Living essential oils because I was looking for a solution to a health problem. Now, I wasn't looking for anything natural and I wasn't looking for a job. I wasn't looking for a business to start. That was actually, I'd always said I did not want to be an entrepreneur. And that is not something I was looking toward. At the time, I was teaching adjunct or part-time, and then I was home with my babies. By then I had two. And so I was introduced to these oils. And here's the thing. We started using them and we had so many aha moments. I literally just couldn't keep my mouth shut. Like I couldn't believe that the oils were really working for all kinds of things, like our allergies and UTIs and tummy troubles, and we were staying healthier and like all these things. And so I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. And I started sharing with my mom. I started sharing with my sister-in-law. My daughter went to school with some oils and a necklace, and her teacher started asking questions. Like these things started happening because I just was loving products, like genuinely loving these products. And all of a sudden, the people I knew wanted to grab a box of oils just like I had done and to get started with Young Living too. And so I thought, like maybe I should try this thing. Like maybe I should share and make a little extra income. And so I decided that I would learn a little bit about the 12 oils that I had gotten in my starter kit, and I would start some classes. And I started to share on my social media. In fact, I started to share on my social media well before I decided to make extra income with Young Living, simply because we literally loved the oils. And so that's how I got started growing this business. It didn't take a really long time, just a couple of years before I was able to drop all other extra incomes like part-time teaching and adjunct teaching and all those things, because I was able to replace that income solely with Young Living. And the beauty of that was I could work Young Living from home all the time, from my phone, from my computer if I wanted, on my own schedule. All those things we're going to talk about the benefits of. So I really was able to grow in the last 7.5 years a team of thousands of primarily women, but we got some guys in there too, of people, and help them learn about and buy products that literally change their lives. And it is rewarding and it is fun. And it has benefited my family financially. We are able to travel more because of the extra income I'm able to bring in. My kids can do extracurriculars like like martial arts and cheer and all of these things because of the extra income, but I still get to be the mom who picks them up after school. I still get to be here. I'm not working crazy hours on the weekends. I'm not working when they, when they leave for school, I'm able to get them ready. Like all those things I'm able to be here for. And so it has been the biggest blessing of a balance between having something for myself that I love doing, that is rewarding, that's creative, and that I can help people, but also be able to be a really present mom. And it's very, very, very rare that I've ever missed anything. I'm there for the school awards. I'm there for the tears after school if on a bad day. I am there for the promotions at martial arts. I don't miss the things. Okay. And so I want to be able to link arms with you to help you do that too. So tonight is just in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to share just an overview, an introduction to some ideas of how to go about the first steps to starting a business like this, why Young Living is particularly a good one to do, and then just a few practical tips I love to give my leaders who are also building teams from home, either while they're raising babies or after retirement or even on the side of their full-time jobs. Okay, so I have a team of dozens of women who love to share as well, and we're so glad that you're interested in that and doing that as well. Okay, so the first three things I want to start with are three pillars to really having a successful business from home, no matter what that is, and being able to do it without feeling this like tension all the time between home life and work life, because you do have to create some boundaries and separations so that you don't feel like you're like on your phone all the time or on your computer all the time when the kiddos need your attention. But you are going to need time pulled apart to be able to work if you want this to be a business that you're building from home, right? And so there are three things that are necessary for being successful in this. The wonderful thing about these three things is that network marketing, which is what Young Living is a level playing field. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what kind of education you have. It doesn't matter what kind of experience you have. Everyone can do this. Everyone can learn the skills necessary to build a business like this and to do it in the way that utilizes their gifts and their passions. And that's what I love to help women do. So the first thing though, the first pillar of a successful business at home is commitment. Okay. So if you really want to make income to bring into your family's income, and you want to do more than just, a little check here and a little check there, but you want a steady stream of extra income monthly coming in, you have to make a commitment to this. It can't just be a hobby. It can't just be something that you do every couple of weeks, but it needs to be something that you've committed to. That you're excited about, that you're passionate about, and that you want to put some time into. Now, Young Living, network marketing, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not some kind of scam. It's just a different type of job. It's one that offers some beautiful flexibility, but it's still a job if you want to bring in job income, right? And at the beginning, we have to put in that work to have that residual income come later on. So commitment is the first thing. Now, when you give commitment, if you join in with Young Living and start to build a business, I want you to know that you also have my commitment. I help dozens of leaders build their own businesses the way that they want to do that. I mentor them. I show up every week to keep them accountable if they want that. I give them strategies and I give them resources. We're going to talk more about that, but you have a commitment from me too. So number one pillar is commitment. Number two is communication. Okay. If you decide that you want to build a business from home while you're raising kiddos, you need to have some real clear communication happening in your home. This is what protects the balance. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a firm believer that life really does not have exact balance ever. Okay. There's not ever a time when you're like, I am going to be the best mom and the best business woman and the best wife and the best friend and the best this all at the same time. Like that's just not reality, right? Some days we get some things right and some days we get other things right, right? There's not always a clear balance. But if you want some harmony in being able to build a business from home and also have precious family time that is protected and important, then you need really clear communication. So you need to be communicating with your husband or your wife and your children about what you're going to do. So you can explain to them, we're using these products from Young Living that we love. You guys know how much mom or dad loves these products, and we want to be able to help other families get healthy with these products too. So I am going to work on building a Young Living business, but I get to do that at home. And excuse me, my throat is a little dry today. And I get to do that at home. And so mom or dad, I'm going to carve out time during the week, and these are going to be the times that I work. But then when I'm not working those hours, I get to spend my time with you guys. And you and your husband or your spouse figure out what are the hours that work best for you. Is it in the morning? Is it midday if your kids are in school? Is it after they go to bed? What works for you as a family unit? What is the commitment that you can make together as a family? You want to communicate those things. That's super important. Okay. So number one pillar is that you make the commitment yourself for having this business from home. Number two is that you communicate. What are your passions? What are your needs? What are your wants? What are your goals with this business? Share those things with your husband or your wife. Share those things with your children. Talk about the vision of what you hope for the future. How are you going to use the extra income when you make that? Share those things with your kids so that they understand why you're spending time away from them, even though you're at home, to protect the time that you do have with them so that you don't have to work outside the home, right? So that tension is relieved a lot with good communication. The third pillar is consistency. Okay. And I mentioned this a little bit with commitment. Consistency means that you do need to show up for your business on a consistent basis. That doesn't mean 8 hours a day. Okay. It might mean 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, 5 hours a week. Okay. That may be the commitment and the consistency that you can bring. But without consistency, you're not going to have much more than a hobby. You're going to get real frustrated over time because you're going to put in lots of work and pieces, but you're not going to see those compound into successes if it's sporadic, not like you want to. And so you want to create a consistent pattern of work for yourself. Is that 1 hour a day for 5 days, or is that 2 or 3 hours a couple of times a week? What works for you and your family? This is part of that communication. And then show up consistently. Consistently doesn't mean 24/7. Nope. Okay. This is not a job where there's the types of emergencies that you need to be on call 24/7. No, you get to choose. That is the time freedom, but it does take some hours of work, right? It does take some focus. It does take some commitment. It does take you showing up every week in these little bits of time in order to build a successful business from home, but it can be done, and it can definitely be done in fewer than full-time hours. Okay. And so you want to figure out what works for you, what makes sense for you to stay consistent. Yeah, you might be able to work 5 hours, 5 days a week, 1 week. Okay. And then the next week, you might feel so overwhelmed from what you didn't do the week you were working your Young Living business that you don't show up at all. And so you have this pattern where you're like wishy-washy. Instead, it's better to find a way that you can show up consistently in smaller bits of time that work for you and your family. Okay, so those are the 3 pillars: commitment, communication, and consistency. So let's talk about Young Living in particular. Young Living is an amazing company to start a business with at home. You are an independent brand partner. If you work with Young Living, that means you get to build your business however you want. They don't dictate that outside of their policies and procedures. You can do this however you want. There are no quotas that you have to purchase. There are no specific numbers you have to bring in every month in order to continue to be a brand partner. It's an easy business to get started, and this company is super generous with loads of integrity and an amazing product. Okay, so let's talk about what are the benefits of building a business, particularly with Young Living. Number one is it's not very expensive. It's not very expensive to start a business with Young Living. So those of you who are at home with babies or toddlers, or you have teenagers that you want to be, available for, if you're like me, you don't have a lot of extra income, money sitting around. Like, the budgets are tight, and all the activities are costing money, or all the diapers, or wherever you are in the seasons, right? We a lot of us haven't been saving up to start a business. So we need to start something that is reasonable financially for us. And it doesn't get any more reasonable than what Young Living offers us. And that is a $30 business startup cost that comes with over $30 worth of resources. So all you have to do in order to become a brand partner with Young Living is to buy a brand partner kit, which comes with 3 months of our MyYL website, so that you can try that out and see if that website works well for you, as well as a bundle of resources that will help you build your business over the first few months. And so that $30 of resources will come right to you. You can add that brand partner kit right to your next Young Living order, because of course you want to be utilizing the products so that you have testimonies, and so that you are a product of the products, and can tell all of your stories, right? But $30, that's all it takes to start this business, okay? A business that has the potential to create for you residual income, that in fact has the potential to create residual income even for your children down the road if you desire. So this is, you can make money while you sleep. You really can. Now, it takes work to get there, but in the long run, you really can, and you can do all that just starting with that $30 startup, okay, that brand partner kit. Now, another reason why Young Living is an inexpensive business to start is that you are going to have at your fingertips loads of free business resources. Okay. Young Living Corporate offers us lots of great resources, and they are really even stepping up their game more lately by giving us templates and graphics to utilize as we share on social media. Lots of great information about the products that we're using, lots of great support from them. But you're also going to have resources from your leadership. So resources from me, and then I have leadership above me with amazing resources as well. So you are never going to be building this business alone if you don't want to. You're always going to be having a group of us cheering you on and handing you ideas and strategies and systems and scripts and things that you need to take the first steps. I have women working with me who have been working with me for almost the whole 7.5 years that I've been working with Young Living. We've been doing this thing together, and they've always had resources available to them, no matter where they are in the growth of their business. And so you have loads of that. You're also going to have free mentorship. So you have availability to me as a mentor who has been doing this for 7.5 years, can show you the ropes and how to get started and how to take the first steps, as well as you have mentorship available to you even in my leadership. That's free. That won't cost you anything. And we'll teach you how to do professional development, personal development, and all the things that you need to know how to work from home, from your phone, from your computer, and really do this in a successful way that's going to benefit your family. And then lastly, one of the reasons why Young Living is inexpensive is that it's easy to grow this type of business using free social media platforms or simple in-home classes, depending on how you choose to grow your business, which that gets to be your choice. Okay. All right. So why do we want to build a business in Young Living? Number one, it's inexpensive. Number two, it's totally flexible. This is my favorite part of this job. As a mama of 4, my weeks never look the same, right? And so I need some flexibility in my life to be able to go to the orthodontist appointments or to the teacher meetings or to whatever is happening with my family. And so you get to choose your own hours with Young Living. You're never set in any particular hours. You get to choose if you work early mornings, midday, during your lunch hour, or after the kids go to bed. That's totally your choice. There are never any quotas, as I mentioned before. You don't have to have a certain number of sales a month in order to stay a brand partner. In order to earn commissions, your order that you make plus the order of your customers will qualify you in order to make the commissions that you make with Young Living. Now, in this short class, we're not going to go through how the commissions work, but that is a thing that I will mentor you on and help you know how you earn bonuses. How, in fact, if you help a friend get started with a Young Living starter kit, you would earn $50 just like that. Boom, one friend. Okay. Plus unilevel commissions that come along with Young Living, which we'll talk a little bit about later, but you can qualify for all of those commissions by ordering your own product, as well as the volume of the customers that you bring in that will qualify you for your commissions. Another way that it's flexible is that you can build this business any way that you want to. You can do it virtually. You can do it completely virtually if that's what you choose. There have been people who have worked their way all the way to the top of Young Living by only doing social media. Okay. And so you can choose to do that. You can do in person. You could do vendor events. You can do in-person classes. You can do at-home parties. Whatever you want this to look like, you can make it look like that using your gifts, using your passions, using what you're good at, what you're comfortable with. If you want to add it on to something that you're already doing, you have a cleaning business that you do from home, or you have an organizing business and you want to bring in Young Living products with that, or you're a real estate agent and you want to start using Young Living products as your gifts to your clients, and you can combine things with things that you're already working on. Okay, there are a lot of great ways that this can look in your life. And my favorite part of my job as a mentor is helping you recognize your gifts and then marrying them well with Young Living to be successful. And so you have all that flexibility. And then the last thing that's flexible is you don't have to be an expert. You might be thinking, okay, but I don't know a ton about Young Living and I'm not the healthiest person yet. And I got a lot to learn and I just have these 12 oils and that's all I have. Okay. I got started with one box of oils and a diffuser, and that's all I used when I started teaching classes. Okay. And I was able to bring in friend after friend after friend into Young Living with me, and we just learned together, step at a time. And so we are here with all those resources available to you to help you keep learning, but you don't have to wait till you know it all to get started. In fact, you don't want to. All you need to be is a step ahead of the people you're talking to, and they are going to love to hear your stories. So you have that flexibility. You don't have to be an expert in wellness to get started with this job. All right, number 3 reason why Young Living is a great company to start a business with. It's legitimate. This is not a pyramid scheme. This is not a scam. This is not a fad. We are a legacy company. We have 30 years strong, sticking around, not going anywhere. We have been the forefront of the essential oil world, as well as the wellness community when we have supplements and non-toxic products. It's it. This is it. This is legitimate. Okay. This is good stuff. It's exciting. And this is a company that has been going strong for a really long time. The people who are still, began this business 25 years ago as brand partners or distributors, they're still here because that's how much they love the products and love the company. There is a generous compensation plan. So if you look at the link I've shared, and if you're not watching in the Zoom, I can share this link with you. Just make sure you send me a message. It is our income disclosure. It will walk through what the average annual income at each of our ranks is. And that is an amazing thing to look at to see how generous the compensation plan is. You can make, like I said, if you go tomorrow, you have your brand partner kit and you go tomorrow and share with your mama about a starter kit and she wants one herself, you make $50 like that. That's just the beginning. Okay. And that's just the beginning of the generosity of the compensation plan. It really is generous. It really is beneficial and legitimate, and you can make legitimate money doing it. Another way that Young Living is legitimate is that you have a real committed support team. We're not going anywhere. You're not going to be on your own. And we really have ways to help scaffold and be a support for you to get started. There's nothing scammy about Young Living. We are not the groups that you see out there saying like, I need 3 people to join my team. And it's like vague and you don't know really what they're talking about. We're not constantly trying to recruit people just to do a business that doesn't have legitimate products. No, we're all about wellness products that we love, essential oils that we've fallen in love with, and we want to get those in every home in the world. And so there's nothing scammy about it because we have legitimate products that we love. And then we're sharing products that truly change people's lives. And that's another reason this is legitimate. So let me give you in the next couple of minutes just a few little tidbits of things I love to share with my leaders that just help them practically learn how to build this business in part of their days, in those committed part of their days to be successful so that they can add to their family's income at home with their kids. Okay, so here are just a few practical tips. We talked about the pillars of a successful business at home. We've talked about why Young Living. So I'm going to give you a few. I'm going to give you 2 of my absolute favorite little tidbits. And if you love these kind of tips, if you love this kind of mentorship, then you're going to love to be on my team because I've got more that I'll share with you, okay, as you get started. So one of the things that I love to help people do is to help structure their week by really figuring out how to best spend our time. So if you have a period of time where you have, maybe let's call it Sunday afternoons, and Sunday afternoon, your husband's home or your wife is home and you can set aside a few hours to work, that would work well in your schedule. Then what I encourage you to do as you start to build your business is that during that period of time, you sit down and you take your phone or a timer. Okay. I love the use of timers to help me stay on task. And you set a 15-minute timer and you pull out a notebook or a piece of paper. And what you're going to do is on that notebook or piece of paper, you're going to write down all the ideas that you have or things that you need to get done for sharing Young Living that week. Maybe you write down some ideas for some social media posts that you want to make. What are some stories that you have to tell about why you love Ninja Red? Or what is a story that you have about how lavender works for your family? What is a story that you have about how your kids love their diffuser at night in their room? You write these down, okay? It's called a brain dump. So for 15 minutes, you dump everything you can think of about your Young Living business into a piece of paper, your ideas of things that you want to get done. Who are some people that you know would really benefit from having thieves oil in their life or from having Super Bee supplement in their life? Who are these people that need to be part of Young Living with you? You'll write those names down for the week. What are some questions that you have about your Young Living business? You'll write those down. So you're going to take everything that's in your brain about Young Living. And in that 15 minutes, you're just going to stream of consciousness, write it down. It's called a brain dump. Okay. All right. When the 15 minutes is over, then you're going to spend some time. So what happens is when you're working from home, there's a lot of interruptions, right? Even when you commit and even when you're consistent and you have a time to work and you have a place to work, something's going to happen, right? Like there's going to be someone ring the doorbell or a kid's going to need something unexpectedly, or you're going to get a phone call. And so sometimes those times during the week get interrupted. But if we have spent time, one period of the week, making a brain dump and taking that brain dump and organizing that information into a large to-do list, I call it a conquer list. Things that we want to conquer through the week. It's like a super to-do list. So I make this conquer list with the things that are priority at the top. Okay. And I will list those. Maybe it's 10 things for the week. And I make my conquer list of 10 things. Okay. And that's what I get done on Sunday. I've done my brain dump and I've done my conquer list. What I've really done is my thinking. Okay. Because sometimes when we get into our week and our time to work gets kind of interrupted, or, I'm fitting something in real quick, or I'm kind of tired, I might not have my my clearest mind. But if I've set aside some time to do a brain dump and a conquer list, I've done a lot of the thinking of the things I want to do. So then on Monday, when I have an hour to work after the kids go to bed, even if I'm tired, all I have to do is pull out my conquer list and I have it ready to go. And I start working on the first item of my conquer list and I knock that thing out. Okay. Maybe I don't get anything else done in that hour. I just get that one thing done, but I've gotten that done. And through the week, as I work in these hours of time through the week, I work through my conquer list so that I stay on task. I stay accountable to what I'm doing. And I am successful in getting the things done that are going to help move my business forward. And I have done one section of organizing all those thoughts, and the rest of the week, I just get to fulfill the tasks. Okay, so that's one of the tips that I love, strategies I love to teach my team of how to get organized, how to stay on task, how to balance their life through the week. And those kinds of strategies are ones that I love to help mamas who are home with kiddos be able to build their businesses to be successful so that you and your family can fulfill all the visions that you have about how extra income can help you. Maybe it's extracurricular activities, maybe it's relieving some debt, maybe it's saving for college, maybe it's traveling more, whatever those things are. I want to know those dreams that you have for this extra income, and I want to help you get there. Okay, so this is just the tip of the iceberg, but I wanted you to get a little inside peek into what it's like to work with us so that you can let me know if you're ready for the next step. The next step is I am already working with a group of women who were excited to share on social media about Young Living. And I am helping them do that with some super easy social media prompts. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's a great way to get your feet wet in sharing Young Living and get started with this business. So if you're ready to do that, you send me a message or comment and let me know. And we're going to do this thing together. Okay. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I know it's hard to take time out to even watch a video when you're home with kiddos or in your busy life. And so I'm glad that you took the time to do that, to learn a little bit about the opportunity that you have with Young Living.